Hi, welcome to the My Reader Minutes. If you're new here, welcome. To all my new subscribers, thank you for joining me on my journey. I do appreciate you. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Let's get started. Today I want to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Yes, they're back for their mid-season premiere. Looking at your app or own app, it says season 9, episode 1. I don't know what episode it is, and I don't know what season it is. All I know is this is the mid-season premiere because they were on a hiatus. They already had other episodes prior to this, and they're continuing on. Then they'll have the reunion, and it'll combine both the first part and the second part. So I don't know who's creating this chapter season type thing, but it's confusing. Anyway, they're back. And they pick up where they left off. They're on the girls' trip. Melody, I always say Melanie, trying to be fast. That Melody put together for the girls. They were in mid-conversation when they cut it off the last time. So Destiny and Melody were trying to hash out or trying to resolve whatever Tisha thought that they needed to resolve. Because Tisha brought it up saying that she thought that there were some things that needed to be talked about. Even though Melody said whatever we had to talk about, we'd have been talked about a long time ago. So it's nothing really to talk about. However, she expressed that Destiny had been hanging out with Martell's mistress. And she evidently, at one point in time, posted a picture online with her hanging out with the mistress, and her kids were there. Now, I think this was during Martell's birthday. They had gone to some restaurant, and Destiny and Law showed up. And Destiny took a picture and put it out there online. I guess with the backlash, she took it down. Destiny admitted that once it came to her attention that it was causing an issue, she took it down. And Melody was like, why did it even have to be brought to your attention, so to speak? So Destiny got offended, saying this is coming from a person, right, that the same mistress, she was on the phone talking to her, trying to teach her how to respectfully cheat. And Melody's like, what? What are you saying? And Destiny got upset. Went to 0 to 100 in like a split second, saying, yes, you were teaching her how to respectfully cheat. So Melody said, did Martell feed that to you? Because that's what it sounded like to me too, Melody. But did Martell's feeding that to you? And so Destiny actually got upset and was like, you need to stop lying. You did say that. Stop acting like you didn't say that to her. You did say that to her. And she stood up. So when she stood up, Shanita stood up. It's like, what's getting ready to go down? So when she stood up, Tisha stood up and pushed her outside. When she went outside, Stormi evidently was out there talking, trying to calm her down and saying, and Destiny was explaining to Stormi that she is hurt. She's also hurt about what Melody did. And Melody took a friendship that they had and walked away from it. So Stormi said, so tell her that. This is the best time to tell her that. Share that with her. So that's so she goes back in. She sits down. She apologizes for standing up. She said her intention was when she stood up, she wanted to go outside. Melody doesn't believe that. And she said, in true Destiny fashion, it's never like what it seems to be. And, right. She didn't believe that because she said she lunged towards her. And she looked like she was lunging towards her. And I'm assuming that's why Shanita stood up, as if to say, what's up? What's going to go down here, right? So In the midst of the conversation, Destiny is trying to, address some things. And she says, well, I also want to talk about the fact that you keep saying that me and Martell are having a thing, and that's not true. So Melody pops up and says, okay, I'm not doing this. She says, I'm going back to the house. I'm hungry. And that's it. She says she was done with this. So Destiny's like, yeah, sure, run away. We never can really talk about the real stuff or whatever. So Melody picks up and says, I'm gone. Let's go. I'm not dealing with this right here. So I guess that ends the dinner because all the girls are outside. And at this particular time, I think that um Tisha was walking up behind them, and I guess she was talking to Shanita, and Shanita turned around and said, come on, Ops. Come on, Ops. Tisha got upset. Tisha said, why do you keep calling me that? Why do you keep calling me that? You don't know me. You don't know me, so don't do that. You don't know me. You don't know me from can of paint. Stop saying that. Kimmy pops in and tells Shanita, you need to stop doing that. And she's following Shanita to the van. And she was like, if I gave her that same energy, I got a lot to lose. She said she ain't got nothing to lose. And that's what she's telling Kimmy. And she said, well, the fact that you keep calling her the ops, you're gonna get her riled up. So she said, so what should I call her? When we call her messy? She said, I'm saying you don't have to call her anything. The fact that you keep saying is gonna rile her up. So Shanita says, she is the messiest one on this trip. And she said, if y'all want to continue to still be delusional, then stay delusional. She said, we're not delusional. So Kimmy wasn't for Kimmy wasn't really taken up for Tisha. She was just telling Shanita, what you're saying is not making matters any better. You keep firing the flames. Her thing was, we're not delusional. I'm taking it as you're saying we're not delusional. Like everybody sees Tisha for who she is, but you keep saying it, which is making it worse. She said, well, okay, well, I won't say nothing anymore. I won't say nothing. To me, this was a real moment. To me, Shanita meant that stuff, what she said. Now, I want y'all to keep this in mind. Keep this moment in mind, right? She meant what she said at this particular juncture. She was calling Tisha the ops because she feels like Tisha is the messiest person on the trip. She said it. And she said, y'all can still keep being delusional if you want to, but that's what it is. And so Kimmy was like, we're not delusional, but you keep saying it. Doesn't make it any better. She said, well, okay, well, I won't say it no more. Remember this point right here. So Destiny asks Sonny, can I speak to you alone without people? Sonny agrees. They go over to the side, and Destiny wants to know if she could have a real moment with her. And she wants her to be honest. And Destiny feels that Sonny's not being honest about their true relationship, that they were friends. And Sonny says, well, I like you. She said, I didn't tell anybody I didn't like you. She said, we were cool. She said, I was getting to know you. Right? She said, but Destiny said, we were cool for this not to happen because you got to admit this is foul. And Sonny was like, well, it is what it is. I'm sorry, this is not what you like. Wasn't what you like, but that wasn't, we it wasn't meant to hurt you. She says, I don't believe that. She said, I don't believe that. She said, I feel like y'all did this on purpose. You did this, you had to shove you were like shoving this in my face. Like putting this in my face or whatever. She said that wasn't the case. She told Dusty that is not true. Dusty said, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Now, Marita speaking, where it may not have been Sonny's ulterior motive. However, I somehow feel like Moses was behind it. Like Moses was hurt that Destiny didn't do or act the way she should have acted as a girlfriend, knowing that he couldn't leave the state of Missouri and she didn't come see him a lot. And I'm assuming that he paid for her to come see him when she did go. And he had a birthday party. More than likely, Destiny ain't had no money to get to him. So a lot of times that's probably why she stayed back. Maybe it was babysitting issues, what have you. But he was upset that she didn't come. I remember that conversation. He was upset that she didn't come see him on his birthday. But he hooked up with other people, according to Sonny. He was dating other people, as well as her. And he finally, settled on her. Why he settled on her? I don't know. I kind of feel like Destiny kind of feels. I think he might have settled on her because he knew that would get to Destiny. And I think Sonny may have been using the process. Not saying that he don't like Sonny, not saying he didn't fall in love with Sonny, but I think the initial, is that a word? I think the initial thought process maybe in Sonny's head, and I'm maybe giving him too much credit because I don't have him being that intelligent. Sorry. But I feel like this is his get back to Destiny. My opinion. I could be wrong. So I kind of see where Destiny's going with it. So Destiny was like, well, you know what? I don't want to talk about this anymore. She said, I thought I was going to have a real moment with you, but you don't want to be truthful about it. And she said, well, I am. She said, she can't talk. She really can't speak on what she don't know. And if she was being used in the process, she's not going to know that. You know what I mean? Even though Destiny seems to think they were in cahoots and they could have been, if she didn't know, she can't speak on that. So I hear Sonny too. So the girls go back to the house and they're trickling in. And so this part kind of like threw me off because it looks like Destiny, before she goes wherever she's going, to her room or wherever, or maybe she's going back downstairs to the pool, because I think that's where her and Tisha end up at. She sees Melody and she says, I'm sorry. She words it to her, mouths it to her. And she goes, I'm sorry. And she says, I love you. And it was really heartfelt. And I don't know, maybe there was something else that transpired. When they do things like this out of the blue, it doesn't make sense because they don't show us everything. They've cut stuff out. So this right here, they had a sincere moment, just them two. Destiny evidently is really hurt that Melody walked away from their friendship, just walked away and left it. But Destiny also knows now that Melody was hurt at the fact that she was pouring out her feelings to Destiny about this man, Martell, that was doing all this stuff to her. And then as soon as Martell would call, she would get off the phone with Melody and talk to Martell. She said that was hurtful to her. She said that was the first time that she had heard that. And so I'm assuming this is why she's saying she's sorry. I'm sorry. I love you. But at the same token, Destiny said she was hurt too, that she just walked away from the friendship. So I guess both of them are hurt. And it makes sense now. This conversation with Tisha and Destiny at the pool. Because they were both coming from hurt sides. Both of them were hurt. She did this, not unbeknownst to her, to Melody, because Martell was her friend. So she didn't feel like she could isolate Martell and be Melody's friend, because she was, I guess, Martell's friend first. And not that that means anything. I think she did tell Martell when he was wrong or whatever. She really didn't call herself getting into the middle of it. But at the same token, Melody has a tendency to cut people off. And that's this wall that she puts up because she doesn't want to be hurt. People do it all the time. I do it. I have a tendency to do that. I don't know. I think Melody is a what's Melody? What's Melody? Her birthday is. She's a Scorpio. So I don't know if she's a Scorpio and have a little bit of Libra in her. I don't know. But I have a tendency to shield my heart too. And I will shut you off. It might not be as blunt as Melody, but I will wean myself away from individuals that get too close to this that I see doesn't mean me any good. So if I foresee something and I'm like, okay, I'm going to remove myself from the situation and I'm just going to distance myself for a minute here. I will do that. So I can see Melody doing that. I can see Destiny not being able to receive it, not knowing where she was coming from if she's not communicating with her about why. And on the opposite side of that, Destiny, doing what she's doing, and unbeknownst to her, knowing that, I guess because of how blunt Melody is, she tends to tell you how she feels. The fact that she didn't say anything, her thing was, why are you acting like this? So she was in the dark too. So Tisha's saying, I can still see that there's still something there. So that aspect, I'm kind of seeing what may have unfolded there, but they cut out a lot, so we didn't see that. I had to put that together myself. And again, that's a speculation. I don't know what the real deal is. So there's that. So the next morning, Mel gets up. She's like ready to go to the ATV riding, whatever. The girls in the kitchen, they congregate on the van. They're on their way. And you see them going through town. They show these little scenic pictures of St. Thomas. St. Thomas, it's looked like a place I might need to take a visit at one point in time before I leave this earth. I'm going to have to take a trip there. The girls get off the bus. They meet the island boys. The island boys discuss that. The island boys discuss that there's 2 ATVs. And look, I thought they were going to ride them themselves. I thought they were going to drive them themselves, actually. But that didn't happen. They rode them in groups to the location, I guess, where they're going to have either lunch or dinner. I don't know if it's lunch or dinner. I can't tell. Probably lunch, I guess. But anyway, the island boys come back to ride them to their new location. Mel and her girlfriends get in first. This is the one that always is flirting with Mel, and Mel flirting with him. And they takes them to this overlook, this scenic view, which is very beautiful, I must. St. Thomas has got a lot of scenic views. So, in the second ATV was Trisha, Stormi, and Destiny. And at this point, Mel is saying that she appreciated Destiny at the dinners to show the receipts regarding Sonny and Moses. Well, really regarding Moses and how he was still communicating with her and how he was still sending her money, still telling her he loved her. And basically, it was Moses that was trying to play both of them, which we kind of knew. And like I said, I think that Moses was playing both of them. I don't know if Sonny knows to what extent he was playing both of them, but Sonny's into, well, he picked me and I'm the wife. So that's where she is. You know what I mean? And it is. That's where she is. However, I think Melody would say, well, what could happen? How can we move forward? How can we move on from this? And Destiny's like, they can move back to St. Louis. Well, Melody says, well, they haven't moved here. He said, well, they can stay in St. Louis. That's how they can help do this. She said, and I understand now how you may have felt about things that Martell was doing, always being thrown in your face and always being put like in the forefront, reminding you over and over again what he's done. Now that I've gone through something similar, I can understand how you feel like that. And she says, and I'm sorry. So she's still apologizing. I'm sorry. Still apologizing. So So Melody says, "Well, thank you. I received that." And she said, "A lot of times people don't know what other people are going through, male or female, really, until they actually go through something similar themselves." So she said she accepted, her apology. So Destiny wants to pull Melody aside again to have more of a conversation. And Destiny's like, I mean, I'm sorry, and Melody's like, "I really don't feel like having a heavy conversation, but okay." So she goes to the side, and Destiny is expressing to her that a lot of things that Melody was saying, I think she said Melody called Destiny a liar, and it grew legs. And it's been following her, even outside of, I guess, the show, I guess she's trying to say. And so Melody was like, "Well, it works both ways." Her thing is, a lot of things grow legs. That's what her response was. And she said, "Just your comment alone to my mother saying you're pimping your daughter. Why did you say that?" And so Destiny was like, "I don't know. I apologize for that. I shouldn't have said that. And I've also apologized to your mom for saying that." She says, "I'm sorry." But Melanie was not taking that. She said she understood the apology, but she wanted to know why she said it and where did it come from? Why would she say something like that? Destiny didn't say anything. She wouldn't own up to where it came from, why she said it. She just said she apologized for it, which wasn't good enough for Melody. She said, "Do you accept my apology?" And I think Melody said no. Because her thing was, "I want to know where it came from." Understandably so. Where it come from, Destiny? Say it. She probably didn't want to throw Martell under the bus or wherever she was going with it or wherever it derived from. I don't know. Something in the back of my mind. You remember when it came out a little bit about unfortunate things that happened to Melanie when she was a child. And I think Miss Van was dealing with a Caucasian man. And supposedly, allegedly, what the Caucasian man may have done or not done to Melody. I want to say that may be the sole source of her comment, but I don't know. I wasn't there and she didn't acknowledge what it was, but I'm thinking that has something to do with it because Arion told this to a blogger. Y'all remember that. I don't want to harp on it because I don't know how true it is. And if it is true, I don't want to conjure it back up. But I think that might have something to do with it. Again, I don't know. I wasn't there. Moving on. So they decide to table that conversation. They'll visit it again at some point, but they're going to go back and be with the other girls. For whatever reason, I guess Maurice needed some camera time because he hasn't really been on. He wasn't really a part of the first season. Now I kind of think of it. They really didn't have much camera time. So him and Monster are outside throwing the football because I guess he's going to college. He needs to get. I guess Maurice is trying to make sure he's up to par with getting some type of football scholarship. So he's going through drills and stuff with him. They sit on the side and they have this conversation about colleges, where he wants to go. I have to say that Monster is really growing into being a very handsome young man. Not that he wasn't handsome before, but you can see that the growth from the last time he was on camera to now. He's really handsome. He looks like his mom. I don't see Maurice. He could be in there somewhere, but I don't see Maurice. I see his mom. Anyway, he's a handsome young man. But anyway, despite that, Maurice is talking to him about schools and about how 90% of the people in his demographic or the kids in his demographic usually get full ride scholarships, either academically or athletically. So I don't know how Monster's academics are or his schooling is, but evidently from the fact that he was trying to do drills with him on football, I'm assuming that's what he wants, at least to get some type of scholarship, an athletic scholarship to go one of his schools. So he has some top schools that he named that he would like to go to. I think he said Texas, FAMU, um, and I can't remember the other one. I think it was 2 in Texas and 1 in Florida. But he also has fantasy schools too. So he said he was also interested in going to California. And his father is like, California? He said, yeah, California. And he said, you going out there probably to be behind some girl. He said, no. Well, yeah, kind of. But so this was a cute little, I guess, segment. Did it need to be in here? I don't know, because the whole episode was about the girls' trip, but I guess they had to levy it with um Maurice. Plus, Maurice introduced the fact that since the women are away, he said the guys need to go away too, right? Um, so I guess that introduces them going on some type of a trip as well on the second half. And he talks about, so I think a monster brings up that, when does Kimmy come back? Because I'm hungry. And so Maurice says, well, she taught you how to cook. He said, yeah, but I'm not cooking for you. He said, all I'm saying is if you go out somewhere to go something to eat, bring me something back. So Maurice said, cool, I can do that. I got you. And that was the end of this segment. Was it needed? I don't know. But I think it was refreshing to see Monster. It's good to see him. So they go back to the girls' trip, and they're all there looking at the scenic views of where the ATVs drop them off, or they're gonna go have dinner, lunch, or whatever. They're seeing St. Thomas is absolutely gorgeous. I love that. I love that view. And this looks like it's panning down on where the girls are standing, if you can see, because I see Tisha's yellow outfit. But this is, I don't know where the camera was. I guess this might be where they're having their lunch or whatever. But anyway, I don't know if it's a drone or whatever, but they're showing, they're showing, I don't know what they're showing. But anyway, this is a good view. I love that. I'm gonna have to put this on my bucket list. So they're sitting down at dinner, and Melody says something about what slogan of whatever she put on her invite, talking about vacating the Melody Cherie way or something like that. Anyway, so she said, "How y'all like the vacation so far?" Sunny gives her a thumbs up, like she's on board. She's all for it. This is great. And she's like, this is the, good time. We're having good times. And Shanita speaks up, and she said, well, let me just speak my humble pie while I have everyone's attention. She apologizes to Tisha. She apologizes to Tisha for calling her the ops. And she said it wasn't, meant in a malicious way. She said she don't know Tisha, so she wouldn't have known that. She said she thought that she had some winking going on, like they were cool with the ops comment, and she didn't know her. She didn't, and I'm assuming that's why she lashed out at her about calling her the ops. She said, but she was really joking. It wasn't meant to cause any harm or any ill will, any hard feelings type of thing, and she apologized. So Tisha in this same moment said, well, she probably should have said something sooner. And when it did bother her, she just didn't say anything. And she said maybe if she'd said something sooner, then it wouldn't have gotten to that point. And she says because she likes her, she seems like she's a nice girl. They've been having fun, and she says she likes her vibe. She said so Tisha said they're cool, and that was the end of that. So I don't know if I truly believe that Shanita was really truly joking with her. Now, she might have been kidding with her and just playing with her. You know how a lot of things playing in a joking manner could be your truth. I really feel like maybe that's what she did it, or maybe she didn't mean it to be malicious the way it came off. She didn't want Tisha's feelings to be hurt, but at the same token, she was letting her know, I see you. That's how I saw Shanita doing that. Because her conversation with Kimmy was, y'all can be delusional if you want to, but she is the messiest girl on this trip. She said that. That wasn't playing. Y'all can be delusional if you want to, but she's the messiest girl on this trip. And don't have her walk up on me. I got things to lose. She ain't got nothing to lose. How do you know she ain't got nothing to lose? Who told you? You don't know her. So she had to only go by what was being told to her. To me, Melody had to tell her that. Where else did she get it from? Unless she watched the show, well, she claims she doesn't. Melody had to be the one to tell her. That's all I'm saying. And then Kimmy, who supposedly called herself, pushing her to the side, acting like she doing something, we're taking up for Tisha. She said, oh, well, we're not delusional. Basically, we see her. But you saying it don't make it no better. You keep adding fuel to the fire. Basically, that's what Kimmy was saying. She wasn't saying she was wrong. Now, the one time did she say she's not the op or she's not messy? She didn't say that. That's where I'm at with it. Anyway, they apologized, squash it, and that's the end of that. So I guess when they got there, Destiny said she was going to the bathroom. When she came back, she said, who's sitting in my seat? And Stormi evidently had sat where I guess she had planned to sit, which happened to be next to Melody. And she makes Stormi get up. Stormi's like, okay, you can have a seat. And she moves down to the other end of the table. I don't think Stormi cared where she sat, but she got up so Destiny could sit there. Weird. These group of girls. Everybody feels a way about Melody, but they want to be in her good graces. Is this Mean Girls? Help me figure this out. So Destiny sits down after she makes Stormi get up. And the chef comes out, this private chef that Melody hired to give them dinner. I think it's dinner. And he passes around. I even think that Nell even said, it's some stuff on here that I don't even normally eat, but it's good, and they start to talk about how they've been on the trip. And Kimmy said that she likes it when the guys are on the trip with them. And the reason why she likes it when the guys are on the trip, she said, because when the ladies get into their shortcomings, they can, surpass that. This is how she does her hands. They can surpass that, and they, make light of stuff and help us get past it and this, that, and the other. And Melody doesn't agree with Kimmy. She says, everything that you've just said, Kimmy, she says, I don't think we do need them here. Not a need for them to be here. She says, this basically proof positive that we've been here. We have, displayed we've displayed sisterhood, a strong sisterhood where we've been able to resolve our issues ourselves. We don't need them here to help us get over or overcome anything and make things funny for us. We've done that on our own, basically. That's all Mel said. And then Kimmy got in her feelings and was like, well, I'm not offended. You can vacation with whoever you want to. She said, it's not my fault. She likes to be around a bunch of girls. I don't know where she was going with this. But then she says, it's funny how, she can flirt and be all over her island boy while we stand around and look at her. And, I took it as if she just wanted her man there so she could have some, like Destiny said, some ding-a-ling. and that's the reason why she wanted him there. And I guess because it is almost like a paradise on earth, you're at this romantic spot, you do want to share it with maybe your significant other. But a girl's trip is a girl's trip. Girl's trip is not a need for a man to be there. Unless you are male identified, then you need a man to be there, aka Kimmy. I digress. So Sunny, since they're on their apology tour, Sunny says, "Well, I'm gonna apologize too." And so she's like, "Destiny, this is for you." She says, "A woman, I am sorry. I did not mean to hurt you. That was not the intent." She said that's not even how that's not even her makeup. You know what I mean? That was not what they sought out to do. Destiny is sitting there the whole time, not even giving her. I mean, she's looking at her, but she's not. It looks like she's looking straight through her. She's not giving her any emotion. She's not giving her any nod. She's not giving her any acknowledgement. She's just like, I don't even know if she blanked, but she was just like, while this girl is basically saying, she did not mean for her to hurt, and it was not her intent. And she apologizes for whatever emotional crisis that this caused her. She did not receive it. She told her she didn't have to receive it. She could receive it later. Depends on whatever, but she was letting her know. And also wanted to say it in front of the group so there's no misunderstanding, that she's sorry. But it's not her fault. Again, it seemed like she might have been throwing it in her face. She said it's not her fault. She said, but at the end of the day, they did fall in love. And Destiny's like, that was the only emotion that she did show. And she was just like, really? That's what your apology, and you followed up that you did fall in love. So anyway, so she didn't acknowledge anything she said. She doesn't believe anything that she's saying because she honestly believes in her heart of hearts that they were in cahoots and they did this to get back at her. And I want to say that I kind of believe her on Moses' side. I think Sunny is in the side where whatever he was feeding her, she believed it, and she believed she was the chosen one out of whoever many women he was seeing. She was the chosen one. So that's what he's telling her. I picked you, even though he's sitting behind bars. I picked you because I know I'm getting ready to go back to jail, and you can put something on my books where Destiny can't. I am sorry. I keep digressing. Sorry. So now brings up the fact that to Melody about millimeters. Now, why millimeters have a role on this show and ain't nobody giving them a dime? They need to take up a class action suit. 'Cause I don't know how many millimeters there are, but clearly they got a role and they don't even know about it. But anywho, Nell brought him up, saying that she feels attacked by her. They make it seem like they going against her, and that Mel don't say anything. So I think Stormi chimes up and basically says, her mom has clearly stated how she feels about Melody. And even though she says she's publicly, and she's told her mom to stop doing that, of course, she can't control what her mom does. But at the same token, she does at least let the public know she's not in favor of how her mom acts. Like, that's where she stands, regardless of what her mom does. Right? And so she wanted to know, had Melody ever done that? And so Melody wanted to know, well, where's the proof that it's millimeters that are doing this? I mean, they could be just fans of the show. That doesn't necessarily that they're millimeters. And Tisha pipes up and says, oh, yes, they came in my lounge and, said that they were Melody's fans. They are, and then I think Stormi says they're self-proclaimed. They say it. And Melody's like, I don't know. I don't think so. That's not the case. But I think a lot of people act clearly. They're saying acting on behalf of Melody and claiming that they're millimeters. But I don't know, where did millimeters stem from? You know what I mean? I get Melody has her own fan base, like Beyonce has her own fan base. And some of them can be extreme. I think Melody needs to acknowledge that some of them can be extreme. However, she doesn't align herself with their extreme ways and views and actions. She can say that and still not ruffle their feathers. Now, again, she can't control what they do. She can call out the behavior if that's indeed the case. And that's how she should phrase it. If you all indeed are doing things on behalf of mellometers, my mellometer fan base, this is what I say that they are. If you call yourself acting on behalf of me, just let it be known that I don't agree with going after people unnecessarily. Now, have you bought a product from them that you don't particularly like? By all means, voice your opinion and say you don't like it. But don't say it's on behalf of a mellometer. Say it's on behalf of you. You know what I mean? Anyway, I think there's the lines are blurred there, and that people hide behind that big group mellometers and say that they're acting upon or is stating that they are a part of the group when necessarily they may not be. They're just acting alone type thing. Because most of the mellometers that I watch, because I do watch some, they say what they say, but I don't have them being the ones going out talking about or to kill and destroy as Stormi has alluded. They say whatever they say on their blog site or their page or YouTube page, and that's it. I don't know. Now, Miss Black Titanic, I don't know if she's ever professed to be a mellometer. I know she is a fan of the show. I don't recall her ever saying she was a mellometer. She could be. I don't know for her to say that she was. And at the same token, she didn't do anything wrong. She went to Stormi's warehouse, but when she went to the warehouse, she was outside the warehouse saying that this is where she had moved, even though she had been some other place before. She was just saying this is where she's moved to. And she was outside the building. Courtney and Stormi came outside and cussed that lady out for whatever reason. She was not on their property. She was in the parking lot. There was someone videotaping, but he was videotaping the whole thing because they was looking for where she had moved to a warehouse. That was a part of her content. Nothing wrong with that. She didn't break any laws. However, she did evidently press charges on Stormi cussing her out. And then evidently taking to social media. Because I remember when she went to social media and did the same thing. And talked about how this lady came to her establishment and did all this stuff. And even though she didn't, but there's that. So Stormi in this instance is basically saying, why doesn't Melody stand on anything? And have you ever said anything about the actions of these people? And Melody basically says, I ain't got to say nothing. And she doesn't have to say anything. It's not her job to police her fan base. It's really not. But at the same token, her thing is she gets stuff thrown at her too. I think that's where Melanie was going. She gets stuff thrown at her too by the people at the table and people that are related to the people at the table, aka Tisha's mom, aka Stormi's mom, and then those bloggers that they're all cool with come at her. She don't say nothing. So what's the difference, really? Anyway, what y'all think? This was okay as a premiere episode coming into the second part of the season. I want to say Carlos said there's 15 more episodes, maybe 14 now. But yeah, this was I rate this maybe as an 8 because it kept, from one thing to the next. And did we need the Monster and Maurice segment? Not really, but it was okay. I enjoyed seeing Monster. Y'all, please hit that like button. Let me know that you've stopped by. Let me know what you think about this episode. What are your thoughts? Um, everyone be blessed. Until next time, peace.